Coming out, as we always say, the fun is in the winning, and it's great to get a win at home to start off conference 1-0, and couldn't be more proud of these guys. I think they battled for 60 minutes like I asked them to, and so I'm incredibly proud of them. Thought our defense stepped up in the fourth quarter the way we needed them to. Big turnover at the end to really seal the game, and then a little situational football at work with the safety there on the punt. But anyway, I'll open it up for any questions.
Hey, Bloom, let's start with your quarterback, Jake Constantine. Second game in a row, you've had a quarterback complete 70% or more of his passes. You feel like you found something there?
Yeah, I mean, that number works, right? Like if we can mess around and complete 70%, that's a heck of a deal. And I thought he was very efficient today. I thought Luke came in and changed the game in a positive way when he went in. So I thought both of them did a great job. Really proud of those guys. Proud of our receivers too, for staying in the fight like they did. I thought Jake Bailey, kind of escaping somebody on that first one was awesome. I thought Robert French going up and making a contested play on the other one was great. And then the explosive run by Cedric Patterson on the reverse, kind of coming in there on the sudden change. That was great to see. I'm really proud of those guys.
Mike, what was your message? Go ahead.
On the explosive plays, I know that's a big deal for y'all. Last week, a couple 1-yard runs. This week, scored from further out. Do you kind of see that as proof that your offense is making those steps you want them to see?
Yeah, I mean, there's going to be a lot of things we want to improve. There always is, right? It's the old adage, it's never as good as it seems or as bad as it seems. And today it felt pretty good out there at times. We were pretty efficient. Now, the thing we have to get away from is the 3 and outs. Like you felt a string of 3 and outs where momentum shifted. And we just couldn't get it going offensively. But the good thing is we did start the first half with a score and we ended the first half with a score. So that's big stuff. But we got to be better in the middle. We can't put our defense out there that long in the first half.
Mike, what was your message to your team after?
Proud of you. The fun is in the winning, as we know. We knew it was going to take every second of fight we had and every bit of fight we had in our bodies to find a way to finish that thing out. And it sure did. It took every second.
And then I'll ask you about special teams. Been a rough couple of weeks and a couple miscues tonight. Short punt, recovered onside, return against y'all. What kind of thing can you do to get that cleaned up?
Yeah, I think some of those are personnel things, to be honest with you. We got to keep working through, and sometimes it's the best you got. And we've got to get those people to perform on Saturdays like they do during the week, especially when you're talking about the specialists themselves. Now, I will say this. I think Christian Van Sickle came in and affected the game incredibly positively today. I thought his kickoffs were money. I thought he put the ball through the pipes and did his job. So I'm really proud of that. But, Matt, I know what you're getting at, and we are a work in progress on special teams. It's not from lack of meeting. It's not from lack of practicing. It's not from lack of attention to detail. Unfortunately, it's from lack of execution. And I guess I won't make a joke about execution like somebody did a few weeks ago. But what we will do is continue to work on execution and try to get that right.
Mike, you were playing against an experienced quarterback, but you still got 5 sacks and 4 interceptions. And he thought on your defensive play today.
David, I'm sorry. Can you take the mask off? I can't understand you right.
Sorry. You had 4 interceptions, 5 sacks. Any thoughts on your defensive play today?
The 5 sacks and the 4 interceptions, like you talk about things that just changed the game. I think we had 9 TFLs on the day, which is a heck of a number. I mean, that's the most since 2017. 5 sacks, 4 picks. I mean, that's getting off the field pretty good as a defense. That's really helping us out. And you saw the offense take advantage of a couple of those sudden change opportunities. And that's big stuff for us. Being able to convert those turnovers into points is a big deal. And that's how you win college football games. But again, that's just another feather in the cap of our defense right now. I thought they did a great job getting them behind the sticks and then kind of punishing them once they did get behind the sticks.
You mentioned wanting to be strong in all 3 phases. Is there a maturity that you can see with this team of being able to, win ugly, if that's what you want to call it?
Yeah, Matt, because somebody's not muted. We need to mute everybody else. And Matt, if you'll ask that question one more time, I just heard part of it.
So you want to be strong in all 3 phases. Is there some maturity that you can take from your team being able to win ugly like this?
Yeah, I don't really give a dang how we win. Every win is beautiful to me, and we'll worry about the other stuff in terms of cleaning it up. We're going to work on it whether we win or lose, and I promise you, it's a lot funner, more fun to work on it when you win. The fun is in the winning, and so is it a step towards a more mature football team? Yeah, I guess it is. You're right, because we had times where one side of the ball was doing their job better than the other, but nobody ever started blaming. Nobody started wishing the other side would do more. They just did their job and they did their 111. So that's a sign of maturity. And that's exactly what you want out of a football team. And again, I thought the special teams were really, really good in that first half. I was really proud of them. Now, again, when you can get all three phases of your team to play incredibly well for 60 minutes, that's magic, right? Then you beat anybody. And that's what we're working towards. But right now, we'll just be really proud of our defense for finishing that fourth quarter the way that they did.
Is this a good time for a bye, or do you want to get right back out there?
Oh, gosh, great question. Some and some, to be honest with you. Some part of me would like to roll into the next one as we're starting to grow and take steps together. But there's also the reality that we'll get some more players back after this bye that will help us. And so coming back from injury and getting this team healthy and letting them have a week to focus on largely their schoolwork and just get a couple practices in to take a step forward towards our game plan for UTSA probably comes at a good time in totality.
Coach, more of a big picture question. This is the first time you started 1-0 in Conference USA play. How much does that inspire your confidence on achieving some of the goals that your team set preseason?
Yeah, I think walking off the field, Dr. Carlgard told me we're 6 wins in our last 9 Conference USA games. So that's a heck of a stat, and that's exactly what we want to do to keep rocking. And if we do that, we're going to be able to meet our goals that we set at the beginning of the year. So with a very similar team to what we've had the last year, we're going to continue to take steps forward and try to find a way to go 1-0 every week.
Anything else for Coach? All right, Coach, thanks a lot. Let's call up Elijah Garcia. Elijah, when you get up there, just a quick opening statement about this game, and then we'll just open the floor for questions.
Hey guys, thanks for having me again. Man, it was a grind today, but we got the job done, and the whole team's pretty happy, and both sides played great to the very end. So really happy right now.
Hey, Elijah, the last time you got here and talked to us, you used the word embarrassed. How do you feel right now?
No, I feel good, man. Like we fought to the end, and that's what we talk about as a defense, training to finish, and just seeing that, like, guys just not giving up. Like, hey, man, we're not walking off the field with being happy about the win until the clock says 0, and that's something we did today. Just got the job done. It feels great, man.
And what's more fun to get to the quarterback as a front seven yourself, or to rattle him so much that you see him throw those loft ball into the airs for your secondary?
Man, it's both fun because when I was last up here, I talked about us working as a rush and the secondary working together, and just being able to help those guys out, and then see the ball getting taken out of the air by them is awesome, man. And if I can help them do that, and then they can help me get some sacks, like it's a great relationship. So I'm just happy about it. I hit him a bunch of times, and I just wanted to keep doing it, honestly.
You gonna keep it up, remind them that y'all got 5 sacks to their 4 picks?
Oh, no, I didn't even know that till Coach Bloom just brought it up just now. So that's an awesome stat. Anytime you can do that, like, the quarterback's not going to be pretty happy. So he forced some errors, and that's something that those 5 sacks, I'm pretty sure, did to him. So.
And then they kind of had a couple big third down conversions, got some points early, but really when push came to shove, that fourth quarter, sacks, interceptions, y'all really locked down. Any rousing halftime speech? What kind of happened that got y'all locked in when you really needed to be?
At least on my part, I just kept trying to tell the defense, like, hey, man, it's on us. Like, we can only control what we can control. Just do your job, stay locked in. Let's go get the job done. Like, no matter where the ball's at or what situation we're in, we're a team defense, and we play together. So we got to finish this thing out, because it's going to be hard. Because this week was hard at practice. A lot of guys were, there was a little bit of illness going around. So it was a tough week of practice, and I think that translated to the game of how we call it grimy, but it was a grimy game, and we got it done. So that's just something I'm really proud of this defense for.
And I asked Bloom, do you kind of view that as a sign of maturity that y'all can win the grimy games now and you don't have to necessarily be perfect?
Yes, yeah. It was something like in the past, guys would get down and the past years I'm talking about, guys would get down and, that would affect the way we're playing. But it seemed like today, everyone was locked into the very end. Whenever we're in the huddle with Coach Smith about to go out on defense, it was just like, hey guys, guys just bringing each other up like, hey, we got a job to do. Let's go get it done. Like, we got to go. We're not done yet, So it was just awesome to see, man. It was a really great sign of maturity.
And then lowest point total, y'all only allowed 17 points, 2 plus the late safety. Best defensive performance on the scoreboard this season. Do y'all want to get back out there, or are y'all ready for a bye week?
I mean, no, we definitely do want to get back out there, man. It's going to be awesome having 2 weeks to prepare for UTSA, get the guys back healthy. And seeing that 17 points on the board is like, hey, this is what we're used to, and this is what we should be doing every week. It felt good to see again. But yeah, getting 2 weeks to prepare for UTSA and getting guys healthy again, that's going to be great. We got midterms coming up, so that's going to be a grind. It's going to be grimy. So just to get that out the way and then focus on going back home to San Antonio and getting the job done there.
Anything else for Elijah? All right, thank you, sir.
Thank you for having me.
We'll go ahead and stick with the defense, and we'll bring Kirk Lockhart up. And Kirk, just open up. Let's just walk through that play at the end where they're taking the shot downfield, and just walk through that whole play, how it played out.
I mean, it started with Coach Smith just calling the play, and we know where we have to be each play. And I knew my guys up front were going to do what they're supposed to do. They were going to get in the quarterback's face. If not, they were going to sack them. So I had total trust in those guys that they're going to do what they were supposed to do. And so did I have trust in my safeties and corners on the outside. And that play doesn't happen without those guys, without that call that coach made. And I was just excited to be in that position because, if they put me in that position to make that play, I'm going to make that play. Just like if I help put them in that position, they're going to do the same thing. So the only thing going through my mind was, hey, do your job, do your 111. And if the play comes to you, you will make it just like your other teammates will. So the only thing going through my mind was be where I was supposed to be. The ball was in the air, catch the ball. And that was it.
Hey, Kirk, y'all had 3 turnovers on the season entering tonight. Or interceptions. You had 4 tonight. Did something click? What went right tonight where the ball just started finding your hands?
I think the biggest thing is practice every week. Going into each meeting, the emphasis is making these takeaways, either sacks, fumbles, peanut, whatever we can do, we have to get those takeaways. So going into each game, that's what we're thinking, because coach is telling us, hey, this is what we need to do. We have to improve on this. And the guys, all my teammates, all my brothers went into practice, and that's all they did was practice peanutting, catching every ball that came to their hands. And I think that's why we made so many TFLs and interceptions and sacks, because guys really worked in practice every single week to improve. And it's just showing the results now. So I'm really proud of the guys that made those interceptions and those picks, and the people that helped set it up. So I think that's the biggest part. It's just every day in practice, you're going to have to practice hard, just like you will play in the game. So bring it over from practice into the game. And that's the emphasis every week. Just make plays.
You were playing against a relatively young quarterback. Was he pretty easy to read in terms of where the ball was going?
Sir?
I said you were playing against a young quarterback. Was it fairly easy to determine where the ball was going just by tracking him?
I mean, hey, wherever he looks, wherever he's opening that arm, that's just where we need to be. And it's just reading your keys, being where you're supposed to be. I feel like the biggest part wasn't about the quarterback doing whatever he did. It was all about everybody on defense doing their 111 and getting to the ball. And that's why, George got that pick. I even got that pick. So many of the guys up front were getting to the ball because they were doing what they were supposed to do, not relying on, the QB or some tackle. They were just making sure they did what they were supposed to do, and that's why the plays came to us.
And then at the end of the game, you had the short field after that punt, that onside kick return. a couple situations where y'all got your back against the wall and y'all got some big sacks, some big turnovers. Was there something about it that just kind of felt like y'all had regained your mojo from last season?
I feel like the biggest part of that aspect is that we have to play 4 quarters, and that what we had to emphasize going into the second half was finishing. And so when we have these different mistakes, because it's going to happen, it's college football. They're going to make plays. We're going to make plays. So the biggest part was when those plays happen, we have to put the ball down and play wherever the ball goes. You have to go to it, and that's what's precious to us, that ball. So I feel like guys, we made mistakes or whatever it may be. They may have just made a play, but guys didn't cry. They didn't drop their heads. They called the people that's supposed to be out there, and those people went out there and played their hearts out. So I feel like I just have to shout out that defense, that offense, those special teams not giving up and finishing that game.
You feel like y'all are playing the best ball you've played yet this season?
I mean, most definitely this season, yes. We actually, came out and finished. But we can always improve. That's the biggest thing, is going on each week, looking at that film, making sure that we get better the next week, the next day, the next hour, that we're not just going downward, staying stationary, but we're going up, and we're always going to improve. So most definitely we played some of our best football today. We still made mistakes, but the big thing is we finished that game, got that W, and we have to go on to next week ready to work and get better.
So I asked Elijah and Bloom, bye week coming up. Are you ready for a break, or do you want to get back out there as soon as you can?
I mean, these guys, we just want to go and play. That's the biggest thing. But I mean, there's always two sides of it. Like Bloom said, we have some guys that could possibly come back after this rest. A lot of guys are knocked up, banged up. So it's always a good time to have a bye week at this time if you have those things in place. But, we always want to go back out and work, and that's what we're going to do in practice. But it's always good to have a little time to rest and get your bodies right, and have 2 weeks to get ready for UTSA, because that's a great team. They've been playing great all season, and they're not going to stop just because they're playing us. So we have to get ready and play our hearts out each week and make sure we're doing what we're supposed to do so we can come out with the W.
Anything else for Kirk? All right, Kirk, we appreciate it.
Thank you.
And we'll bring up Robert French. And Robert, when you get up, just for an opening statement, the Owls opened with 3 tight ends in the starting lineup. So obviously you knew coming into this game, you were going to be more engaged, and just talk about how the game played out for you.
Yeah, I mean, we have 3 really good tight ends in our room, me, Jack, and Jager, and we all have our roles, and we try to do them the best we can. So I was just happy that we were all able to make an impact on the game. We talk about in the tight end room making as big of an impact on the game as we can. Jack had a lot of good catches when we needed them. Jager was making great blocks, and luckily I was able to make a play in the pass game to get us a touchdown. But yeah, I thought the offense executed well, made the plays when we needed to, and yeah, it was a great game. Any questions?
Can you walk me through that first drive of the second half? Y'all scored to close the first half, and you came out with the chance to make it 2 scores coming out of halftime. How did that drive kind of develop? And what did you kind of see when you ran that route and got to the corner?
Yeah, it was kind of the perfect look that we talked about in practice. It was a little more cloudy than I would have liked it, but we talk about making plays on the offense when the ball is thrown to us, and so just trying to go up and take the ball out of the air, and luckily I was able to. But we had a bunch of great plays on offense this week. Jake Bailey with that awesome touchdown early, and Cedric Patterson coming back with that awesome reverse right after mine to really keep the momentum on our side, which was awesome.
Robert, what did that sequence feel like on the offense, where there were 3 touchdowns, 2 by your offense, and Southern Miss had the kick return touchdown, so the offense just kept having to go on the field? Was that a little gassing for you guys?
No, I mean, we knew we had to respond. So obviously our job is to score every time we get it. I think it was definitely good for us to have those 2 touchdowns, really give us a lot of momentum. We'll continue to work on our special teams, but I think offensively we did everything we wanted to.
And then you've been in this offense a couple years, first career touchdown. How cool was that moment? And you giving the game ball to mom? Are you going to keep it for yourself? What's going with that?
It was awesome. I mean, I've been working hard for 4 years. And so to finally get to see that play out on the field was really nice. And got to celebrate with my teammates. I mean, we had a lot of great plays by the O-line protecting really well tonight so we could throw the ball down the field, which was awesome.
And then you mentioned 3 tight ends. Tight end can mean a lot of things in this offense. Does Jordan Myers still count as a tight end? And then kind of how have you kind of found your niche in those roles?
Yeah, I mean, he's kind of our little Swiss Army knife. He can do it all. And so we like to put him in at tight end, running back, receiver, wherever we need him for the game. He gets it done. So, I mean, obviously we're pretty deep at that position. We have a lot of experienced guys that can make plays. And last week was his night to make 4 touchdowns, which was awesome. And this week, me and Jack had some great plays in the receiving game, and Jaeger with some great blocks. So we're lucky to have that much depth at this position. And it's really helped us win some games.
And then as an offense, 2 of your better outputs the past 2 weeks. Do you want to get right back on the field, or are you glad that a bye week is coming?
I think a mix of both. You know, obviously we want to go out and win every week, and we love playing this game, but I think it'll be nice to have some guys get some rest, bring back some injured guys, and, you know, have some 2 weeks to really develop our game plan for this next game. UTSA is a tough opponent, and we'll have some time to put a really good game plan together and go out there and give them our best.
And then you mentioned 4 years. You've caught a lot of passes from a lot of different quarterbacks. What can you tell me about Jake Constantine and what you've seen from him these past couple games?
I'm just really proud of him. He stepped up into a role. You know, we've been down 2 QBs early in the first 3 games. And so he just stepped up and made plays when we needed him to. And he's continued to play really consistent ball. And Luke's come in whenever we need him to and made really good plays as well. So I'm happy for both of those guys. I think they had really good nights tonight, and I'm happy to see them keep working together moving forward.